Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast.
We are back with another 49ers roster countdown, and today we got number 73, maybe the baddest man on the 49ers roster that I would not want to mess with. That is number 73, fullback Josh Hokit. Sorry, let me apologize. I practiced the pronunciation on these like 5 times before I hit record, and I still messed it up every time. Hashtag Texas. Josh Hokit. And he's weird, man. Fullbacks are weird in and of themselves. It's a different breed. I played fullback until I got too many concussions in high school, and they had to move me off that because I would just go through with my head and knock the crap out of people, and then I wouldn't remember anything. So, like, you've got to be a different breed, and that is exactly who this guy is. 6'1", 225 pounds, entering his second season. He hasn't had to travel too far. He went to high school, Clovis High School, the Fighting Cougars, just outside of Fresno. And then in college, he went to Fresno State. But he had lots of options. This dude, multi-sport athlete, there's no doubt about it. Amazing wrestler, and his flirting with doing MMA after the NFL, trains regularly for it. He's a mean man. He's a mean man. Now, in college, he played both running back and linebacker, kind of alternating back and forth before running back, kind of fullback was going to, get him where he wanted. He was a two-sport athlete, obviously, in football and wrestling, and he won the wrestling scholarship to Drexel University, which is very, very difficult to get, but declined it because he wanted to play football. Drexel didn't have a football program, so he chose to walk on to the football program at Fresno just so he could do his wrestling and he could do football. And yeah, holy freaking cow, did he excel in both those sides. Chose to stay home. Was Fresno State's first All-American wrestler in 16 years. 16 years. Number 3 wrestler in the nation out of high school. And again, he keeps talking about MMA and training for that. The video just came out about a month ago of him and Talanoa Hufanga going at it in the octagon. It was a non-striking competition. And man, props to Hufanga just for getting in the ring with this dude. Of course, he tapped Hufanga out. There's no doubt about it. You can just Google or YouTube Josh Hokit and Hufanga, and you'll see it. It's a quick 40-second video, but props to Hufanga for getting a room with this dude. This dude's an All-American wrestler. And Hufanga is 20 pounds lighter and still get in there. But he's tough, and he's a crazy madman that just mean. He's just mean. That's all there is to it. Now, I'm not saying personality-wise, but his play on the field is mean. Even if you go to Fresno, and we'll talk about his rushing stats, that dude gets the tough goal line yards. That's what he did. Now, his athletic profile, he was undrafted. Didn't run a 40, 3-cone vertical, any of those things. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Now, he did rep 300 reps at 225 pounds, which is like offensive line, defensive line territory. I mean, this dude, he weighs 225. He benched his weight 30 times. He's a mean man. He's a mean man. Now, he's not played at all for the 49ers. It's only his second year. But if you go back to what he did at Fresno, in 2016, he played linebacker. In 2017, he played running back. In 2018, he played running back. And then in 2019, he played both. So a two-way player. And if you look at his rushing stats, 303 rush attempts, 1,200 yards, 4.2 average, 17 touchdowns. Dude had 17 career touchdowns, 38 receptions, 260 yards, 1 touchdown. And if you look at the defensive side, 7 tackles, no sacks. Didn't really have any other stats outside of that, but two-way player that got involved, but definitely the offensive side of the field, that's where he's going to make his heyday. Now, who knows what's in store for him? Because obviously the 49ers have Kyle Juszczyk, and as long as they have him and he's healthy, no way Hokit gets on the roster. And we've even seen when Juszczyk gets injured, just like last year, they'll move a tight end there instead of calling up Josh Hokit. So what's it going to take for him to make that leap? I don't know. Maybe that's something that he's done. And, if Kyle Juszczyk does miss time, Hokit will step up now over Ross Dwelly, over, putting somebody else back there, Charlie Warner. But I doubt it. And that's kind of why I have him back here. It would seem if you look at a depth chart, right, and you're outside the 49ers and you don't follow them closely, you would say, oh, he's one game away from getting snaps at fullback. I don't think that's the case. And that's why we have him here at 73. Maybe that changes this year because we know Kyle Shanahan doesn't like using rookies. Now Josh is out of that mix. So it is possible. I don't think there's any way he makes the 53-man roster outside of probably 1 or 2 injuries, but who knows? Maybe that changes. But man, I respect this man, and I'm not that I am scared of him, but golly, this dude is a mean mamma jamma and kind of a tone setter. I think you need some of these wild, crazy guys that step in just because don't mess with us mentality in training camp. And probably one of the fun guys to watch in those inter-squad scrimmages that they're going to be having in the preseason because he's just somebody that, hey, man, we'll send the enforcer in and he'll mess you up. That's Josh Hokit. So that's number 73. Want to say shout out, man, for all this amazing background work and depth work into these players. It's all Anthony and Josh. So just want to say thank you to those guys, executive producers of this series. As we keep going, that was number 73, Josh. Next up, number 72.